for Nolan Xavier Wells. 18 years old, gone too soon. Mississippi, y'all got some explaining to do. Mississippi, need to release that report. Low down, dirty ass Mississippi. What you hiding? Why you not talking? Why the hell you not saying a damn thing? Talk. I pray the family get a real answers. And no, we the people won't go away. Never, hell no, not today. Mississippi, the Most High gonna really deal with you. July 4th lights, boat ride with the crew. Young King Nolan chasing dreams, Ocean Springs through and through. Horn Island called his name, he relaxing in the blue. 2 days later found on the sand. What happened to you? Independent autopsy dropped, but it's undetermined. Red mark on the back of the head, neck structures missing. Absurd. State sitting quiet, toxicology on the shelf. Family screaming for truth, but y'all protecting yourself. Nolan was a star athlete with a future bright. Now his mama crying every single night. Boating trip turned nightmare. Questions in the air. Who was on that island? Why the silence there? Mississippi, need to release that report. Low down, dirty ass Mississippi. What you hide? Why you not talking? Why the hell you not saying a damn thing? Talk. I pray the family get real answers. And no, we the people won't go away. Never, hell no, not today. Mississippi, the Most High gonna really deal with you. Grand jury waiting, but the people still fighting. No severe trauma, they say, but the story don't add up clean. Waves whispering secrets, covering up the scheme. Oh, young black man gone, another one in the South. History repeating, time to open your mouth. What you hiding in them files? Why the delay? Transparency dying, why the family pray? Know the light was shining, future snatched away. Now the whole world watching what Mississippi say. We marching, we posting, we demanding justice loud for every mother losing sons behind that murky cloud. Oh.
I pray the family get real answers.
No more games, no more lies.
No more games, no more lies.
Nolan deserved better, the truth never dies. From the island to the courtroom, we standing tall. Mississippi,
Your reckoning,
gon' come.
one and all.
Finding all. Mississippi, need to release that report. Release it now, release it now, release it now. Need to release that report. Mississippi, what you hiding? Why you not talking? Why the hell you not saying a damn thing? I pray the family get a real answer. No, we the people won't go away. Never, hell no, not today, not today. Mississippi, Most High gonna really deal with you. For Nolan Wells, we won't go away. Release the report. Justice now.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. Okay, let's see who's in here. Hey, Sam, Ron, Trisha, Terry Hinton, 57 Beige Fox. Let's get into it. Buckhorse DC, James, songwriter Sunny. Pearly is here. All right. DJ Big Six, Candy Girl, Gemini, Nadine, Nessa G. All right, Bronze Black Power God. Let's get ready to get into it. Mr. Elevation, Desmond. All right. So shout out to all of my loyal roles and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. Okay, so first things first. Hey, Lemon Delight. Let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Here we go. I see you, Gregory.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And also don't forget that you can find her products at Walmart.com. Okay, so with that all being said, and also she sells beard oil. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get ready to get black into it. Everybody hit that like button. Thank you in advance. And also don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving your notifications. Okay? So let's get into it. Now, there has been a lot of updates since yesterday. I literally have been up all night gathering receipts and doing research. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go to, hold on for a second. I'm pulling up this post. Now, I didn't tell you all this yesterday because I wanted to confirm whether or not it was factual or not. But supposedly it has been confirmed by the Wells family. Okay, so Nolan is a descendant of Ida B. Wells. Okay, did y'all hear that? Let's get into it. And they say that her family has confirmed this. Okay, so hold on. Hold on. Okay, so justice is not new to the Wells name. It is something that has been embedded in our family's DNA. Christine Wansley is doing what her family has done for generations, fighting for justice for her son. Ida B. Wells, a Mississippi native, was one of the founders of the NAACP and dedicated her life to combating prejudice and violence while advocating for the African American community. I'm grateful that a Wells can use a resource another Wells put in place for this very moment. Now, the Wells family has been part of the Jackson County community since 1872. Our name is more than just a surname. A Wells has always been a place where a well has always been a place where people gather. Now, it is a source of life, a place where communities meet, where burdens are shared, and where everyone comes together regardless of their differences. That is who the Wells family has always been in Jackson County. Now, a family that brings people together, serves others, and pours into this community with love, service, and compassion. Today, we're asking our community to gather around us the way we have gathered around so many others. We have fought for justice in many capacities. Captain Dan Wells was the first Black deputy sheriff in Jackson County and one of the first in the South. Even after the tragic loss of his own son, they continued fighting for justice despite not having the resources that we have today. The Jackson County chapter of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, known as the SCLC, was established in 1975 by Leon E. Wells Sr. He and his wife, Addie Wells, were central figures in the local civil rights movement and helped launch the chapter. Okay, are y'all listening? Now, my family has protected and served this community in countless ways. Josie Wells, a U.S. Marshal, gave his life while protecting and serving our community. Members of our family have served in every branch of service, protecting and defending our state and country. We have every right to ask for justice because we have given it so much, or given so much so to many families through our blood, sweat, tears, and even our own lives. The Wells family that you know in Jackson County has always loved this community and welcomed everyone with open arms. We give grace. We support our neighbors. We're simply asking that the same support and love that we have always shown be extended to our family. Members of our family have served as doctors, nurse practitioners, teachers, law enforcement officers, coffee shop owners, bus drivers, real estate agents, psychologists, county court employees, utility workers, and in many other roles throughout this community. We have been the parents cheering on your children from the sidelines, just as you cheered for ours. Please show us the same support you showed when Wells children were standout athletes for football teams across Jackson County, including East Central, Moss Point, Pascagoula, Gautier, Ocean Springs, D'Iberville. I know I said that wrong, and St. Martin. And they say do your own research. I mean, if you don't believe it. Now, we're not asking for racial tension or division. We're asking for what our family has given to so many over the years justice, along with the same love and respect we have shown countless families in this community. The rumors and speculation people are spreading do not matter. What our cousin needs are answers about what happened to her son about between 3 p.m. on July the 4th and when his body was found on July the 6th. The same effort you put into following what those Wells young men were doing on the football field, the soccer field, the baseball field, powerlifting platform, tennis court, or golf course, we need that same energy to help find out what happened during this missing time. Please be part of the solution. God is love, and right now we need your love, not mean comments, assumptions, or speculation. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, a whole lot of hate is coming to these people, and I don't see Brandon Beich as Tatum. Okay, I don't see him saying anything about that, but he wants to protect thugs who are clearly liars and hiding something. Okay, but let me continue. If you want the media attention to end, help us find the missing pieces in the timeline, not placing blame on anyone, but help us find the truth, whatever it is. Help us bring justice to Nolan Wells. All negative comments will not be responded to, but will be prayed over and let the God of heaven and earth deal with it from there. Amen and amen. Let us pray. We are covered by the blood of Jesus. We ask that everything that happened be revealed. We rebuke every word, curse, every spirit that is not of God, and bind everything that's not of God, cast it back into the pits of hell. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so y'all heard that. All stand before the judgment of God. Hold yourselves accountable. All right, so that was from the Wells family. I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention. These people come from a history of activists, okay? And that all makes sense because now we can see where Christine gets her strength from. All right, so please pay attention. Now, speaking of Miss Christine, there is a post that she recently made, and I'm going to share that now. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. She says, my strength comes from the Lord above. I do not have the luxury of falling apart. I have to keep advocating for my son who is no longer here. Don't mistake me not crying and hollering as me not grieving. Please continue to pray for me and my family as we navigate life without our sunshine. Negative comments will be deleted and blocked, so just keep your comments to yourself. Okay? Because who does that to a grieving family? Who does that to a grieving family besides devils? Okay, and I don't believe for a minute that people are making all these threats upon these alleged suspects. Okay, I don't believe that people are making threats to them, and if they are, oh well, I don't really care. Okay, how about you? So let's go to what Governor Reeves has to say, because this man, let me tell you something, the racism in him is oozing through his pores. Okay, this man is so racist, they need to get him out of office as soon as they can. All right, that's what they need to do. And he has a history of being racist. Let me just show you. First of all, we know about the blackface because I already broke that story last week. And then we also know about him speaking, being the keynote speaker at that racist Confederate rally back in, I think, around 2013. Okay. But here's the thing. Did you all know that he turned down millions of dollars worth of aid to help to feed poor children? Okay, with the EBT program, and he probably turned it down because he felt like it's going to help Black folk. Because you know these racist demons have it in their minds that Black people are the ones that disproportionately use EBT and SNAP. But I'm sorry, that's not the case. It's the other way around. And if they had sense enough to do the research, they would know that. Okay.
Year in a row, Governor Tate Reeves turned down $38 million that would help feed Mississippi children this summer. But why? Shelby Wilcher, the governor's spokesperson, said it's because Sunbucks, also known as Summer EBT, was a pandemic-era program and was never meant to be permanent. The program wasn't officially established until 2024, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture says Sunbucks is here to stay. Sunbucks is a federal program that provides families with a benefit of $120 that's given in 3 installments of $40 a month per eligible school child to buy groceries during the summer months when school meals are unavailable. Reeves' decision prevents approximately 320,000 Mississippi children from receiving these grocery funds, and the result is that many of those children could go hungry. Summer EBT would have filled in gaps left by Mississippi's statewide summer meals program, which provides boxed lunches to children at 320 sites. Many families cannot travel to those locations or take time off work to pick up meals. After Reeves first declined Sunbucks funds, a Jackson nonprofit called Springboard to Opportunities launched its own version of Summer EBT. The program extended a lifeline to many Mississippi families like Jasmine Samuel, a single mother of 3 boys. Samuel works at the Bingo Depot in South Jackson and has painful memories of when her children were hungry. While waiting for her next paycheck, Samuel developed creative ways to keep their minds off hunger, like making popcorn and getting them excited about watching a movie. Before receiving EBT, Samuel dreaded the grocery store checkout line and remembers counting her last dollars and putting items back while other shoppers rolled their eyes. It just takes a toll on you, Samuel said. Read the full story at MississippiToday.org. For the
Okay, so that's the kind of person the governor is. Okay, that's it. So with that all being said, let's continue. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. Now, let's go to this next report on the governor. Just low down and nefarious.
The lieutenant governor, the speaker of the House, and the secretary of state all appear to be roughly on the same page about redistricting. Governor Tate Reeves today said that it was almost certain that he will call a special legislative session sometime soon over legislative redistricting.
We need to do redistricting in our congressional races. We also need to do redistricting in our legislative races. We also need to do redistricting in our Supreme Court seats as well. And so, again, that's going to take a little bit of time to get all of that together. But I would not be surprised if there is a special session to deal with redistricting sometime between now and when the next legislative session begins. But we will definitely have a redistricting done before the 2027 elections.
House Speaker Jason White and Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann have formed select committees to explore redistricting. And both of them have said separately at the Neshoba County Fair that they want to proceed with redistricting in light of the U.S. Supreme Court's Calais decision.
The court's given great direction about where the law is now. And just as we've respected it over the last 50 years, I think we respect the court's position now. I think we have to, or we'll end up right back in court as we have over the last 40 years.
What this looks like, we don't really know. They did not offer any specifics. They did not say they want to rework any specific area of the state, but that they want to proceed and move forward with that. They also said that they want to take a look at congressional and judicial redistricting, but that likely won't happen until next year. Secretary of State Michael Watson also said he has prepared things on the administrative end.
We're going to go back to the 2022, which we think the legislature lawfully passed. That's what Mississippians wanted, and there were fair maps. So we're preparing to go to that in the expectation that perhaps there's a special session that called. If it's not, then we're going to be ready either way.
And as always, politics, particularly the upcoming 2027 statewide election, featured pretty heavily at this year's fair. Governor Tate Reeves is term limited and he cannot run for re-election as governor. So he encouraged people at the fair to continue to elect a conservative as governor to succeed him, someone who will continue on Mississippi's education gains and economic development growth that we've experienced over the last couple of years. Agriculture Commissioner Andy Gibson was also here in full force campaigning to be the next governor. He said that he has unique experience as a former legislator and a current statewide elected official that would make him a great candidate for governor. Former House Speaker Philip Gunn has also announced that he's running for governor, and while he could not speak at this year's fair, he was still here campaigning. Secretary of State Michael Watson has announced that he's running for lieutenant governor. He was here campaigning as well. The Neshoba County Fair, politicians can, give a classic stump speech, but as is normal with sort of offbeat, off-cycle election years, did not have the full energy that it typically does, but that energy will likely return in full force next year when the 2027 statewide election cycle will be in full.
Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Trying to redistrict and all of that to take away Black representation. Okay, clearly racist. And that was evident to me when he got up there and spoke about Nolan Wells's case and didn't even bother to offer the family condolences in the least. Okay, clearly a devil. Now, with that all being said, I just blocked someone who's clearly pressed. They said they blocked my channel. Well, if you blocked my channel, why would you be in my chat? How dumb are you? You couldn't have blocked it if you're in the chat. Make it all make sense. But here's the thing. That person said the thumbnail is fake. They're upset about the thumbnail. Okay, well, the thumbnail isn't fake. It's absolutely real. And what I did was I had it enhanced. Okay, that's what I did. I had it enhanced. Okay, because here's the actual picture that Ben Crump posted. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. If the haters are mad, they're really about to be mad in a minute or two. That's the original picture right there. Benjamin Crump posted that yesterday evening. Okay, that's them on the boat. And I do believe that this is when they were making that call for a fake tow that they know they didn't need. Okay, because it looks like this person right here to my left and your right is on the phone. Okay, but we're going to get to momentarily. I'm not going to get to that right now. I'm going to wait for more people to get in here. But we're going to listen to what exactly was said. Okay, in that call, because I played you all the call yesterday, but I didn't realize some of the background, what was being said, and we have enhanced audio now so we can listen to it. Okay, likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, with that all being said, the reason I brought up Governor Tate and his racism and hateful ways is because now he's come out talking again about Nolan's case. And he seems to be a bit agitated and irritated because Benjamin Crump has brought so much more attention to the case. Okay, so he's basically saying that they're making it about race and all of this. Mississippi official reveals FBI probing threats against witnesses in Nolan Wells investigation. So he thinks that Ben Crump and his team are the cause of these threats. Now, mind you, they were supposedly getting threats before Ben Crump even got involved. Isn't that why they claim they deleted? Isn't that why they supposedly deleted their social media? Because they claimed they were getting threats. Okay, so please pay attention. How is this Crump's fault again? Inquiry minds want to know truths.
That's been put out there, and some of the stuff that is incited, I think, rage and emotion in the public, particularly in other parts of the country. We're seeing a high level of calls coming into our office that are giving sometimes vague threats, sometimes direct threats. I know there's been public officials in Jackson County that have received the same. And I just want to send a message to all those folks that if you think you're helping by doing that, you're not. And what you are doing, though, is committing a criminal act that I'm sure state law enforcement and the FBI is going to be very interested in investigating. So, when you make those types of threats against public officials, against possible witnesses, and against the folks that are involved in this investigation and the family, then you are also committing a criminal act, and that's going to be taken very, very seriously. And yes, I can tell you the FBI has reached out. They're working in any capacity that they've offered a hand in this case to do anything that's needed from their end. But they're also taking a serious look at some of these threats that have come across to public officials, to witnesses, to the family, to anybody involved in this case. And I just want to encourage the public, keep that in mind. And then when you start putting these things out there that are false narratives that incite people, then you're partly to blame for that too. And I think there's going to be some serious look at some possible defamation and other style cases that come out of this entire situation.
There's not going to be any damn defamation because at the end of the day, people can speculate all they want and they can give their opinions all they want. And if they think people are guilty and did something, they can say that too. That's their opinion. Okay. And also, FYI, they don't want any civil lawsuits for defamation because that's going to include, let me remind them, discovery. Okay, that's going to include discovery. So they can sit down somewhere trying to scare people into being quiet. Nobody needs to shut up. Keep talking. Okay, keep bringing attention to it. Okay, we will not be silenced and we don't give a damn about your threats. Period. We said what we said. Now look at this. This is what the governor has to say. Mississippi governor blames activists in Nolan Wells' case for stoking division. I'm sorry, this country's always been divided. And you know what really gets me is when these racist demons, because that's what they are, they're not human, they're demons. And here's the thing that gets me about them. They're the most hateful, wicked, nefarious, low down, dirty pieces of you know what on the planet. But at the end of the day, they want to accuse other people who are seeking justice of stoking racial division. This country's always been divided, and as far as I'm concerned, it always will. Because sadly, there will always be racist demons who keep up mess, who kill people and get away with it, who do all sorts of things to oppress others who don't look like them, who control and uphold a system of wanton supremacy, and who think that they're better than others, and they think that they have the right to play God, and they get to decide and determine who lives and who dies, and who goes to prison for what crimes. And even in this country, when people commit the same crimes, if you're a white person and a black person on this side, and you're committing the same crime, the white person is guaranteed to get less time than you in most cases. Okay? So that's how that goes. So Tate Reeves can shut the hell up. That's what he can do. Okay, he needs to sit down somewhere. Now they say the FBI is investigating threats against the people who were with Nolan Wells in the hours before the Mississippi teen vanished and was found dead, one of the state's top law enforcement officials say. Now, Wells, 18, disappeared July the 4th after joining friends on a boat trip to Horn Island, a barrier island off Mississippi's Gulf Coast. Okay, we're going to skip all of that because we already know that whole spiel. Now, here's what they say. I'm sure state law enforcement and the FBI is going to be very interested in investigating. So you know when you make those types of threats against public officials, against possible witnesses, and against the folks that are involved in the investigation and the family, then you also are committing a criminal act, and that will be taken very seriously, like Tyndall just told us. Okay. Well, it should be taken very seriously. But what should also be taken very seriously is when people are lying and acting like they're being threatened and they're not. Because where the hell's these threats coming from? And where's the proof? The FBI is investigating, so they should have some proof, right? I find it all very interesting. But let me just tell you all something. Let me just tell you all something that you may not have noticed, because I didn't even notice it at first. Okay? I didn't even notice it at first. I want you all to pay attention to something. Do you all know that Governor Tate, when he was talking about Nolan's situation the first time, when he spoke on Nolan's case, did you all notice that he literally admitted that they committed a crime? Did you all notice that? Yeah, because I didn't either. So let's go to that footage because he literally said it was a crime and then he cleaned it up. He backpedaled. Okay, he almost spilled all the tea as far as I'm concerned. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. Like, sub, everyone, please like and share. I don't know why arrests have not, well, yes, I do. I know why arrests have not been made. Okay, but clearly arrests should have been made at this point. Okay, because we've got the audio and clearly we can hear what was said. Okay, Nolan was on that darn boat.
July 4th. His body was found July 7th. And there has been a multitude of controversy surrounding his unaliving. Yet the governor is just speaking out about it. Let's talk about it. The video I'm about to show you is where the governor of Mississippi finally came out to speak on Nolan Wells' unaliving. And what he had to say made no sense to me. I just want to see if you hear what I hear. Take a look at this clip.
I don't know all of the facts surrounding the case. I've yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one, they will find it and they will do what is necessary.
Did you just hear that bullshit? This is how you know when somebody's on bullshit. This man sat up here and stated on TV he doesn't know all the facts in the case, but yet he hasn't seen a fact or anything that proves foul play. But you just said you haven't seen everything. He said he feel confident that the district attorney's office and the sheriff's department will do whatever they need to do to get to the bottom of it. Then he went on to say talk about a crime, and he caught himself. In the end, he caught himself. You have to pay attention to every word they say. He caught himself about to admit that a crime has occurred. He said, or if a crime occurred. What in the hell you mean if? Nolan Wells' case is nothing but one big cover-up. And every time they open their mouth, they're exposing themselves. Every time. The governor of Mississippi just got on national television and exposed the big cover-up in Nolan Wells' case. Drop down in the comments to let me know that crime.
Attorney's office, suggest any
Take a look at this.
surrounding case. I have yet to see a fact or a piece of evidence that suggests any foul play. But if there is, I feel confident that the sheriff's office, the district attorney's office, the members at the Department of Public Safety that deal with these crimes, if there had been one.
Okay, y'all heard what he said. He literally admitted it was a crime, okay? He said that deal with these crimes. Now, here's the thing. If there was no crime, why would you say that? If there had been no crime, why would that have come out of your mouth? Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. And then he said, if there had been one. Okay, hold on. There seems to be a troll that people are complaining about. Okay, let me find them. Oakley, no one said anything about the fact that we think lungs filled up with water. We don't know what was in his lungs because they were never autopsied by the independent autopsy. Okay. Have a good day, or have the day that your ancestors and you both deserve. How about that? Okay, so now with that all being said, it's always so interesting to me when these detractors come in here trying to tell us about anything. Nobody cares what mindless, obtuse idiots have to say. They're so irrelevant. Okay? MAGA minions, you're not welcome. How many times do I have to make it known? Okay, so now let's go to this audio. We have 1,776 people in the chat. Let's get those likes up, please. Let's get the likes up. And then I guess we can go ahead now and listen to this audio. Okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Gemini said, right, Queen, we have not mentioned lungs yet today. Oh, exactly. Okay, and this is how you know people just coming here trying to paint narratives. Okay, Adrian says, on that interview, Warren said he was worried. Where was Nolan? And you wasn't too worried. You wasn't too worried. You had his phone, so he couldn't use it. Exactly. Okay, he makes no sense. I blocked him already, Jerron, beloved. I sure did. I blocked him already. Okay, let's get into this audio, though. Here we go.
Hello?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership like guaranteed. I don't
All
have the
right.
tag
Unless
on
you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the cars? The word coming up, sir?
Let me tell you all something. Let me stop it for a second and let me tell you all something. Now, did you all hear that? Did you all hear anything in the background? I want you all to pay attention because you remember I told you all days ago. You all remember I told you days ago that I thought it was a strange choice of words or an interesting choice of words. Okay? I felt it was an interesting choice of words for the dispatcher to say, "Is everyone in good health?" I thought, why would she ask, "Is everyone in good health?" And then she asked, "Is everyone breathing?" Do you all remember she asked, "Is everyone breathing?" Now I know why she asked that, because you can clearly hear someone in the background as the person's on the phone. They're saying, "No, no." You know that's Nolan's nickname. "No, no, wake the F up." And then you hear someone say, "Warren." And you also hear someone say, "Check his chest." That's why she asked those questions. Now it all makes sense. And we already determined, I told you all the other day, that this phone call was nothing more than an alibi because they didn't need any darn tow. They never got the tow. So that was just an alibi. And here's another thing. They called the grandfather, Wyatt's grandfather, they supposedly called him first, allegedly. Okay, according to some reports, they called Wyatt's grandfather first, allegedly, and then called for the tow. Now, did the grandfather tell them to do that? Okay. Did the grandfather tell them to do that? Or did they call to get the membership number? Because maybe that's why they called the grandfather. Okay, but pay attention.
Can you Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
Look how he sounded so annoyed. Let me go look. Okay, and then here's another thing. Now it also makes sense as to why he was so reluctant when she asked the question, "How many people are on the boat?" Okay, when she asked the question, "How many people are on the boat?" Why did it take him so long to answer?
If not, I can send you a text message.
Zutur says he sounds drunk, not annoyed. He sounds both, but he more so sounds annoyed to me.
North. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm available.
North 30 degrees by 4672.
All right, 4672. All right, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
Yeah, we do not have the VHF radio.
All right, well, let's try to get you going because you don't have good cell phone reception. Can you verify your coordinates one more time?
Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79.
Right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
Yes,
on
we are
Horn
at Horn Island. Yes.
All right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
So let me get this straight. Your boat is literally sinking, right? So your boat is sinking, and according to Warren during the interview with Tatum, the water was up to the battery. Okay, the water was up to the battery. But when she asked if they needed the Coast Guard, he said no. Who is in a sinking boat with water up to the battery and you don't want the Coast Guard? I think I definitely would. Now let's go to this next audio clip because this one is more enhanced. It's more cleaned up.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello? 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 Hello?
Okay, so now how many of you heard that? Put a one in the chat if you heard them say, no, no, wake the F up. Put a one in the chat if you heard them say, no, no, wake the F up. And if you heard them say, check his chest. Okay? Check his chest. No, no, wake the F up. What the hell was wrong with no, no? I have several questions. Okay, and I want you all to pay attention to this as well. Don't let it slip your mind that I reported to you just days ago that according to the GPS data, and I played you the audio, that they said Nolan's body was recovered in the same vicinity where they made that phone call. And I want you all to pay attention to something. You see how this all worked out? They tried to make that call allegedly for an alibi. This is my opinion. I can't substantiate it. But though they possibly tried to make that call for an alibi, that's the very call that got them caught up because Nolan's body was found within 1 to 3 miles of where they made that phone call. And how do I know that it was 1 to 3 miles? Because like I showed you all the other day, for those of you who missed it, they said in the data, the GPS data, when they released the audio, they said that according to the GPS data, this boat was in the same vicinity as where Nolan's body was found. So they were on the west tip and his body was recovered on the northwestern tip. And when I Googled it to see how far in between, it was 1 to 3 miles. And remember, Horn Island is only like 10 to 13 miles long. Okay? So they were in the literal proximity to where his body was found when they made this call. And we hear people on this boat saying, no, no, wake the F up, check his chest. Warren. We heard his name. Someone said Warren. So Warren, beloved, it's like you have some splaining to do. Okay? It looks like you have some explaining to do. Now, here's another audio. And I just want to say for the record, I don't know if I believe this audio because I don't hear any of this in the 2 audios that I just played for you. And I want you to pay attention that I told you days ago that we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful because Nirvana, thank you for a super chat donation, beloved. RNs for Nolan. His mother's also a nurse. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, with that being said, here's the thing. I told you all days ago that we have to be very careful with what we put out, okay? Because there are people putting out false information, misinformation purposely to basically muddy the waters so that anyone who's actually giving credible information, you lose credibility. Okay, so I think that someone may have just made, done some sort of AI generated audio. I don't know. I can't say. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying this is authentic. But I also feel that there's something fishy about it because it doesn't sound like the other 2. Okay, so I'm going to let you all hear this just so you be aware of how the devils are operating.
CISO Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey,
Is the yes? How far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just thinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir?
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson.
Okay, so like I said, I don't know if that's real or not. It could have been, but I don't know because I didn't hear any of that. Okay, they said Nolan's about to die. I didn't hear that in the other two audios. Okay, I didn't hear that in the other two audios. But here's the thing. Hold on, let me read some of these comments. Miss Detroit Point says, it was 3 boats, y'all. Warren was on his other buddy's boat, and Nolan was on his other buddy's boat. Weird as F. Okay, how do we know that Warren was on somebody else's boat and not on the boat with Nolan? How do we know that? Because in the audio, someone clearly said his name. And not to mention, Warren already admitted that he was on the boat that was taking on water. He already admitted that. So with that all being said, likes up, okay? So let me just tell you all this in case you missed it. Hold on. No. Before I get into that, I was going to go to what Tatum did. Tatum put out the 4th part of his video or of his interview with Warren. Okay, he put out part 4, and there was some interesting things on there that I want to talk about. But before I do, let's go to Schuler King, because Schuler King, I didn't even know this. I know he's a comedian, but I did not know that he was a undertaker. Okay, so someone asked him to make a video giving his thoughts on this, and here's what he had to say about the autopsy report. And you all do know that as soon as Ben Crump came out and said that the independent autopsy report was undetermined, and then here comes the state saying theirs was undetermined. I find it all interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, I'm going to try to squeeze this information in real fast. Now, all of you know I'm a licensed funeral director and embalmer. I'm going to speak about something about Nolan Wells. Some of y'all may be able to stomach it, some of you won't. It may be a trigger one for some of y'all. Either way it go, if you can stay. If you can't, go ahead and move on. All right, now, Attorney Ben Crump and his office had released a statement saying that the second autopsy that was done in Washington, D.C. came back inconclusive thus far because when they received the body of Nolan Wells, the throat was missing. Now, somebody asked me to do a video about it because I'm a licensed funeral director and embalmer. And I was like, okay, fine. I didn't plan on doing it, but I'll do it. Now, when a medical examiner does an autopsy, there are certain body parts that are removed and examined for autopsy purposes, for records purposes. Everything should be written down.
Hold on for a second. Let me answer this. All the Best says, does Ben Crump's office know about this? Do we know, or is this internet info? Well, here's the thing. TMZ put it out, okay? TMZ put out that audio. All right, they put it out. That's the only reason I'm even thinking that it's legit. Otherwise, I would have had several questions. But TMZ released this. All right, so let's continue. And I'm not sure if Ben Crump knows about it or not. He probably does.
Everything needs to be documented. Is the throat removed? Yes. In other organs, yes, they are. But after an autopsy is completed, the visceral organs and all other stuff is put in placed in a biohazard bag, and it is also accompanied with the body of the deceased. So when Nolan Wells' body got to Washington, D.C., all of his body parts that were examined by the medical examiner or coroner in Mississippi should have gone with him to D.C. Nothing should have been missing.
Okay, didn't I tell you all this the other day? Didn't I tell you all this the other day that the parts that they removed should have been placed in bags and sent with his body? And the only reason they should have kept it is if they wanted to do further testing. Okay? And then if that were the case, they should have sent notes to the next pathologist to let him know or her know why they were keeping these parts. But they didn't do any of that. So that's because they're hiding stuff. Okay, that's just what it is. They're hiding things. Okay, now they started this autopsy way before the second one. And how come there's no results coming out yet? Because they don't want to release them. They want to take it to a grand jury. And here's my guarantee, or here's what I think: they'll likely take the results to the grand jury. And the grand jury will likely not indict anyone, because when they take the evidence to the grand jury, they'll likely fix the evidence purposely so that no one gets indicted. Okay, but let's continue. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
I went and Googled in this, specifically in the state of Mississippi, is it normal practice for certain body parts to be missing after an autopsy, and and being sent somewhere else for a disposition or a second autopsy? And the answer that I got back was no, it is not normal for body parts to be missing. Under certain circumstances, certain body parts could be missing, but those circumstances are like if a person passed away from infectious or communicable disease, and we know that that's not the case. So under normal circumstances, there is no reason why anything should have been missing from Nolan Wells' body. And if for any reason they decided, okay, well, we have to get rid of this particular body part, that should have been documented, and the information should have been sent to whoever was receiving the body after the medical examiner or coroner was finished with their examination after that. So I don't know what's what, who's who did what, who decided what, but there needs to be complete transparency about that. If there was any reason that anything was missing, there needs to be 100% transparency, ahead of time. That's it.
Okay, so now with that all being said, here's the thing. Here is the thing. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. I want you all to pay attention, because we're in an age where there is AI. Okay, where there is AI. So when people don't want the truth to come out, when people don't want the truth to come out, they can always try to muddy the waters, or they can say that it's AI. Okay, that's what they can do. They can say it's AI. Now, someone in the chat asked who initially posted the video. Well, I'm so glad you asked. TMZ did, and here's the proof. TMZ posted it. See that right there? It says TMZ. That's who posted the initial audio, and it's the same audio that we all just listened to. Okay, it's the same audio that we all just listened to. Now, the reason I didn't play theirs is because I don't want a copyright strike or claim. But if anyone wants me to do so, I can put the link in the chat so you can feel free to listen to it for yourselves. Because Lord knows I don't want anyone to think that the Queen is painting a nefarious narrative. Okay, there's the link right there in the chat. Okay, there's the link in the chat to TMZ's audio. That is the same audio that you just listened to. Now, if someone saying this picture is fake, maybe it is fake. I don't know if it is or not. But what I do know is that Ben Crump posted it yesterday. Okay. Now, and also let me just say, this one on my screen that I use for the thumbnail, I had it enhanced, as I told you at the beginning of the broadcast. Okay, so trolls, you can please sit down somewhere. Someone said that I'm reaching. Well, if I'm reaching, then damn it, let me reach. And if I'm reaching, why are you in the chat? And why do you care? And why do you want to hear information that isn't credible to you? Okay, because you're not going to make me stop reporting it. I'm not going to stop the live because you don't like it. So why are you here? Make it all make sense. You're here because you know it's the truth and you're just hoping that these people don't get punishment for their crimes. That's all that is. Okay, that's all that is. Please miss me with all of it. I don't care what a hater or a racist MAGA minion thinks. I literally don't. Y'all are funny to me. Y'all are funny to me, okay? Because you're being exposed on a regular at this point. Even Nancy Grace, one of your own, is exposing you.
Medical examiner might need the throat to figure out what happened. I mean, Joe Scott, it's on fire, claims that Nolan Wells had been lynched, that he had been strangled, asphyxiated. Do I believe a lynching occurred? No, I do not believe that. But I do know I need to see the neck.
Yeah, and let me tell you where the neck is. Or the organs of the neck, as it's referred to. These neck structures are actually being held by the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's Office, and they don't just arbitrarily hold things like this, Nancy. This is something that would commonly go with the body when the body is released. So I deduce the fact that they have seen something there that they're trying to hold on to from an evidentiary value. Remember, the state still has an ongoing investigation in this case, and they see evidentiary value in this. And yes, I know that the second autopsy prosector up in D.C. would have liked to have seen this, but he understands this, why they would retain it. And it is being retained, I can promise you that, as are other tissue samples. But the problem is that when you get into these structures in the neck, one of the things you're trying to assess is, was this a drowning? Also, is there any kind of trauma? If people will just put their hands right here in the midline of your neck, you'll feel that kind of cartilaginous body there. That's cartilage, right? That can be fractured. Need I remind you, Epstein, right? So you have to examine this. Also, here's our word, Nancy. They're talking about the hyoid is missing as well. So they don't have that.
Show
They've
me
retained
Joe Scott Morgan, because show me Joe Scott. You and I, hyoid, we know what it is because you and I have handled a ton of asphyxiation, ligature, manual strangulations, you name it. Hyoid, explain. So delicate.
Yes. Yeah, and it's very, very far up the neck, Nancy. And one of the things that happens is that with the hyoid, it's generally only traumatized as a result of direct pressure that's generally applied by a throttling event or a C-clamp like this, throttling meaning like this. So manual strangulation, and an outlier here is ligature strangulation, but primarily hands-on. So they're looking for little fractures in here all along the way. So that has to be dissected along with these there's a couple of other structures that you look at as well. They've held on to this for some.
Medical examiner might.
They absolutely know that they need the throat to figure out exactly what happened. That's why they kept it, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? That's why they kept it, as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, with that all being said, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. If you're a troll, like the video or leave. Okay, trolls, you're here for a reason. All right? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, beloveds. I'm looking for something really quick. Hold on. Someone said there's a troll. I'm looking for them. Okay, Jesse, Judah, are you trolling this morning? You don't have anything better to do, beloved? Let's go to this next clip. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
I called Miss Christine, called her the first time. She didn't answer. I called her a second time, and I got on the phone with her, and I asked her if she had heard from Nolan. She said no. And I said, all right, well, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard.
For once, both stories actually line up.
So when I received the phone call from Warren, I immediately called my friend Tashima and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan?
As I'm being told by his friends, like, oh, don't worry. Like, we're going to find him. It's going to be okay. Absolutely not. Don't ever tell a parent that. Don't ever tell a parent, like, you call me and tell me my child is missing. And then it's, oh, well, it's going to be okay. Like, we're going to find him.
He calls the Coast Guard, gives them all the details, and this is his reason for why he made that call at that time.
But what made you concerned enough that you felt like you couldn't weigh it out anymore? You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right.
So you mean to tell me you called the Coast Guard because your best friend was missing? You already confirmed that Katie is not with him. And remember, this was July 4th. So everybody was still out. You've got the boats, you've got the friends. You just got off the call with Nolan's mom. And instead of doing an all-night type of search, your response is this.
I'm assuming you wake up the next day, and then what happens?
I wake up the next day at about 7:30, and my dad had texted me because obviously Nolan's photo was all over Facebook, and I just saw it everywhere, and I was freaked out because I was like, oh my gosh, I assumed Nolan's just we had been drinking all day, and that he's just sleeping somewhere, and that he's okay, but I didn't want to believe that if we didn't know for sure.
Did y'all catch this?
I called Miss Christine, called her the first time. She didn't answer. I called her a second time, and I got on the phone with
Now I want you all to pay attention to something that he said was very interesting. He said he woke up the next day. So you went to bed and you slept good, knowing that your friend was missing and knowing that Horn Island is a dangerous place, according to your own words, and that people have died out there, and you know people who have died. Y'all hear this? But I'm sorry, didn't he say on one of these clips, maybe it was the first or the second one, but didn't Warren tell Tatum that, didn't he say something about he never lost anyone close to him? But then he just said that he knows people that have died out there. So those people, I guess, weren't his friends, or he didn't care about them maybe. But I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Okay? So now with that being said, let's go to Judge Moore. Hold on, I'm gonna have to go back to that because this TikTok channel wants me to sign in. So I'll pull that up later. But in the meantime, in between time, let's go to Officer Tatum's fourth and final part of the interview. Let's go to that. And let's pay attention, close attention, to how Warren answers these questions, especially when he's questioned about as to why they had that cell phone. Okay? I'm going to share my screen.
This brilliant pillow keeps
but then I think that there's a part associated with this that's being rumored out in the public, and that is the situation with the cell phone, potential deletion of messages, how the cell phone was retrieved. And I just want you to tell your side of this, because what we're getting from the media is that they literally had to, I don't know, coerce you guys into giving it back. You didn't know where it was at. You were hesitant to give the phone over, almost as they had to turn your wrist or twist your arm just to give it back. Right. Well, what happened with the cell phone thing? So let's go back to the first engagement you had when it comes to the family or somebody coming back to get the cell phone and keys. When did that occur, and what happened there?
Okay, well, that night, about 12:30, I went back to my buddy's house.
And you said the night of the 4th?
The night of the 4th, but it was about 12:30, I would like to say. And So I went back to my buddy's house that I stayed the night before, where we all met up, and stayed together the night before. And my buddy got a call from this guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, what's going on with all this Nolan stuff?" Very aggravated. I mean, yeah, every right to be, but I mean, we were trying to calm him down, and he was just like, "Oh, where y'all at?" My buddy said, we're at my buddy's house, and he said, "All right," and then he just hung up. And so about.
I want you all to notice the numerous pauses that he makes when he's talking. I want you to notice how he scratches the back of his head, how he looks around, not really giving eye contact. He's lying. Okay, that's what he's doing. He's lying. Okay, he's lying flat out. Please pay attention. And then he's saying all of this irrelevant stuff that has nothing to do with the initial question, just as he was doing on the previous clips. Let's continue.
30 minutes later, I'd like to say, all of a sudden the door just got open and slammed, and there was a girl who walked in, and probably about 8 or 9 guys behind her, and then another mom, which was Javon's mom. And
who's Javon? I want to put that in perspective. Who is Javon?
Javon is one of Nolan's good friends. He's a friend of mine too, great guy. And his mom and their family is, very close with, the Wells family. And I mean, so I don't know why she was there, what was going on, but I was.
He doesn't know why she was there and what was going on, but he says that they kicked in the door. That's what he said. They just bust in the door. They didn't knock. They didn't ring the doorbell. They just barged into the home and started demanding stuff. Yeah, I don't believe it. And with about 9 people, he says. Okay, with about 9 people. Yes, Tatum knows he's lying because Tatum is a former police officer. He knows all about interrogation. Okay, he absolutely knows this young man is lying. Devil.
I was very surprised by this. I was like, you just basically kick the door open and, bust up in the house with no knock or anything.
So is Javon black or white?
Javon's mixed. I mean.
Why are you bringing race into it, Tatum? I told you all he was the race baiter and the rage baiter. Okay, why are you bringing race into it? What difference does it matter what race Javon is? But he already knew Javon was black or biracial, whatever you want to call it. He already knew that. Okay, who knows any white person named Javon, please? And I'm sure he's been following the story enough to know all the answers that he's asking.
I don't.
Yeah, I guess he's mixed.
Yeah.
So, but he's not white.
He's not white.
Just white.
Yeah.
Or all white, I guess you want to call it.
I'm talking about race.
So then they come in the house. Do you know any of these people?
I know some of
you said
guys.
the mom, but do you know anybody else?
I've seen the mom before, and I know most of them. Most of the guys went to high school with me, and I'm friends with some of the guys. I mean, I know some of them. So eventually, things started to get heated, and I was just a guy I was friends with in high school. He was like, "Man, come outside with me," and I was like, "All right." And I walked outside with him. He was like, "Man, I don't know why." They're panicking, and this is just I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up, and this is nothing that we have to worry about. As much as I sat there and I told him, I was like, I agree. I would think he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just drank too much and was super intoxicated. And that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And
I want you all to pay attention. Now he's sitting up there lying, like Denise said, he's lying like a rug. Exactly, beloved. Here he is saying, I want you all to pay attention. Now what he's trying to do here is he's trying to act as though Tashima and whoever came to the house with her to pick up the phone pick up Nolan's phone, he's trying to act as though they were overreacting, like they're panicking, they're freaking out. And then he says that the guy called him outside and told him, now mind you, he never mentions the guy's name. He's just saying a friend that I knew from school calls me outside. Okay, you couldn't say his name. Did anyone really call you outside? Because Tashima never said anything about that. And I believe her story above his. But listen to what he says now. He says the person called him outside, and the person tells him that Nolan is probably somewhere on somebody's couch. And then he agrees with him. He agrees with him, but he's the same MF that sat up there and called Miss Christine Wansley asking about Nolan, and then pretended he was so concerned that he called the Coast Guard and he called the Cajun Navy, allegedly. Okay? But now he's acting like Tashima and whoever came to the house with her are all panicking for no reason because they thought Nolan was on somebody's couch. If you thought he was on someone's couch, why did you call the Coast Guard? Why did you call his mom? Or why did you call the Cajun Navy? Fool. You see how he just told on himself? You see how he just told on himself? And I'm so glad that Tatum's stupid self, I'm so glad that he released each of the interview clips piece by piece, because that gives us better, a better way to assess it. So we can just pick through every little thing. Okay. Whereas as if it was like an hour long or 2 hours long, you know what I'm saying? We will probably be missing things. But because he's divided it up into 4 pieces, well, we can just listen and pick out the parts that don't make any sense and count out the lies. Okay, now I'm going to rewind it back just so you all can hear that again. Now we have 3,200 people in the chat. Can we please get the likes up? Thank you in advance. Trolls, hit the like button or else.
Man, I don't know why, like they're panicking, and like this is just like, I think Nolan's just on somebody's couch. He's been drinking all day. He's just messed up, and this is nothing that we have to worry about. As much as I sat there and I told him, I was like, I agree. I would think, he's on somebody's couch, just had been drinking all day and just, drank too much and was super intoxicated. And, that's kind of what a lot of us thought, but they were kind of losing it and they were going crazy. And the mom that was with them demanded Nolan's phone, because Nolan's phone,
Hold on. Blessed the Chosen says, you're not serious. No more showing this again. Listen, beloved, if you don't want to see the video, you don't have to be in the chat. You can kindly remove yourself and come back later or watch it on the replay where you can fast forward. Okay, stop complaining about what the hell I'm doing on my own channel. Okay, that's how it goes. Yes, I'm showing it, and I'm not showing it again. This is the first time I'm showing this clip because Tatum just put it out yesterday evening after I'd already done my live. Okay, there was 4 parts. This is the 4th part. Not that I have to explain myself to you, but I'm sick and tired of you saying something about what I'm showing, because you don't have to be on this channel. That's for number 1. For number 2, like I said, if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to. Just leave and you can come back or not. Okay, whatever floats your boat. Pun intended.
Nolan left the phone on the boat, and when we ran in, Nolan didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there. But his phone, he was drinking. He didn't have his phone in the water because no one did. And there was more than just Nolan's phone that wasn't on the boat with us.
So it was more than just Nolan's phone that was on the boat.
Yeah, we obviously had all our phones, but on the boat. But
to start a podcast with Riverside, all you need is a concept and
those weren't the only people. Like Nolan wasn't the only person that left a phone on the boat. There was a lot of people that left phones on the boat, that didn't ride out or in with us. So we there was a couple phones that we had that we didn't know who they belonged to, and my buddy's got that figured out, but it wasn't just Nolan's phone that, was on the boat who wasn't there. It was.
No one said it was just Nolan's phone that was on the boat. Why is he doing all of this extra explaining? Because he's lying. Okay, at the same time he's trying to answer the question, he's also trying to clear himself, okay, of any wrongdoing or any guilt. That's what he's trying to do. Now he's sitting here trying to make sure that people know that, it wasn't just Nolan's phone on the boat, and that the phone was put in Wyatt's car or Wyatt's truck after it was taken from the boat. Now, to me, that makes sense because clearly it was Wyatt's boat. And if they got off the boat and the phone was on there, then of course he would take it. But here's the part I don't get. Why in the hell did it take you 15 to 20 minutes to bring the phone just from the boat? I'm sorry, just from the truck into the house to give to Tashima? Why did it take so long? Okay. And why is he sitting here struggling to answer the question?
There was a lot of phones.
So when they barged in, they started getting frantic. The mom asked for Nolan's phone.
Right.
Was there a struggle over it, or did you guys hand it over?
I mean, just handed it over. I mean, we didn't think anything of it. Like, she asked for Nolan's phone. We knew they were close friends with, the Wells family, and my buddy went out to his truck and handed the phone over. No complications, no issue, nothing. But I mean, I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
When did you? Miss Christine is Nolan's mom.
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on, no, I didn't talk to her once. Like, it was like 12:30. I mean, I might have texted her a couple times and talked briefly about a couple things, but I never.
Let me get this straight. So now he's saying, please pay attention. Okay, I'm sorry to keep stopping, but I have to point out the lies. So he is saying that he told Miss Christine that he had her son's phone. Well, if he told her that, why was she tracking his phone? And why did she get Javon, and Jalen to help her try to track the phone? And why did she send Tashima to get it? Like, sit down somewhere. He didn't tell her he had that phone. If he had told her he had the phone, then basically, I'm sure she would have said that. Why would she lie about it?
I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had Nolan's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because Nolan had his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, it's Wyatt said it's, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat. So Wyatt put it in his truck, it's normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her. I mean, Nolan just left it on the boat. We handed the phone to her that night of the 4th of July.
And did you guys go through the phone, or?
Of course not. I mean, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean, there's multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever.
Hold on, I have to rewind it back because there was a part where he almost slipped up. I'm gonna go back. Okay, I forgot to point that out.
When did you? Miss Christine is Nolan's mom.
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on, no, I didn't talk to her once. Like, it was like 12:30. I mean, I might have texted her a couple times and talked briefly about a couple things, but I never. I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had Nolan's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because Nolan had his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, it's Wyatt said it's, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat.
Now, I want you all to notice how he's kind of hesitated right there. He was trying to get his thoughts together because he literally almost let us know that he knew the password to Nolan's darn phone because he said something about Nolan's Snapchat. Okay, he said something about knowing Nolan's Snapchat or something about his location or whatever. But to me, that implied that he likely knew how to get in Nolan's phone, but he caught himself. Okay, and then switched it up. That's why he started stuttering and stammering. Now, did anyone else catch that? Let's continue.
It was Wyatt's boat, so Wyatt put it in his truck, it's normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck. And when that mom came over and asked for it, there was no issue at all with us giving the phone to her. I mean, Nolan just left it on the boat. We handed the phone to her that night of the 4th of July.
And did you guys go through the phone, or?
Of course not. I mean, none of us had a reason to go through Nolan's phone. I mean,
Yeah, they went through his phone. Bongani said they were deleting messages. Of course they were, beloved. And that's what took them so long to bring Toshima that phone. Okay, he almost told on himself, like I said. And that's how I know that they knew how to get in his phone. Okay? Let him keep talking.
Multiple phones on the boat. Why would it be? And the boat was having issues. Why would our concern be getting on Nolan's phone or something? I mean, I don't even know Nolan's password. None of my friends do. We had no reason ever to get on Nolan's phone and look at anything. I didn't even touch Nolan's phone. None of us touched Nolan's phone until somebody took it off the boat and put it in Wyatt's truck, and then no one touched it until we handed it back, to the mom that was at my buddy's house.
Did she pick, was that the only phone that she picked up, or was it other people's phone that they came and got? Or
that I know of, I think that was the only one that she had. But I'm not completely sure. I think that's the only one that she took Nolan's. That's it.
And so we're on the 4th, where the night, probably going into the morning of the 5th, this happens. Then the dad comes back at some point to get the keys.
Right.
What happened there? When was this, and what happened?
Well, my buddy Brooks drove me and dropped me off at my house, and I woke up to a text the next morning that Miss Christina texted me, and she said, "Hey, Nolan's dad's there is there at my buddy's house to pick up the keys." And I didn't think anything of it. I told her that I was praying for her, and that we were out there, and we were doing everything that we could to help out.
And when he came to pick the keys up, was there a confrontation? Because I could have sworn I saw on the news that when he came to pick the keys up, it was almost like an altercation because you guys didn't want to get the keys over, or you said you didn't know where the keys were at?
I mean, no, absolutely not. I mean, I wasn't there, but from what my friend told me, they just had to look for Nolan's keys. It's not like, why would we be hiding Nolan's keys? There's no reason to hide anything. This is our friend. We have nothing to hide. I mean, we were trying to do everything that we could to help out.
All right. So I want to be clear with this one thing, because I know you mentioned before that you have no reason to touch the phone. Obviously, you didn't touch the phone.
Right.
But is there any chance or any knowledge that you have that anybody deleted stuff from his phone?
Absolutely not. I mean, like I said, there was no reason for us to get on Nolan's phone. No one touched Nolan's phone, but nothing. If none of us had touched Nolan's phone, then there's no reason for anything to be deleted. I mean, no one even was in contact with his phone until it was moved from the boat to the truck. And none of us have access to Nolan's password to get on his phone and delete anything. Absolutely not. And we have no reason to delete anything. I mean, there's nothing to hide here. I mean,
Yeah, there's plenty to hide, son. Okay, and it's all going to come out in the wash. You can rest assured, because we're going to keep digging until we get to the facts. Okay, until we get to all of the facts. Now, I want you all to pay attention. So here's the thing. Let me get this straight. So this young man is sitting up here, or shall I say this young thug, is sitting up here saying that Nolan's mom is a liar. Okay, he's literally calling her a liar because he says that he told her that they had the phone. Okay, that's what he says. Now, here's the question. What made him bring that up? In what context did he say to her, "We have Nolan's phone"? Okay, I don't believe him. Then he says Toshima just kicked in the door, walks up in there with about 9 people, starts demanding the phone. Ha! Okay, please make it all make sense. Now, blessed the chosen beloved, you said check your email. Look what I sent you. Thank me later. Beloved, yes, thank you. But I saw that video already. Truth Brown sent it to me 2 days ago. The reason I haven't showed it is because I don't think that it is authentic. I just don't. I don't think it is authentic. Now, if you see me showing something on this channel, then that means that I absolutely believe it. Okay, like the audio I played. TMZ released that audio, and I don't think Harvey Levin would be trying to get sued. Okay, so to me, that's probably authentic. But other than that, that video, first of all, it doesn't look a thing like Nolan. That person is as dark as I am. Nolan's much lighter than me. Second of all, it just looks too, I don't know, it looks like AI or something. I'm not trusting it. But anywho, I'm just not trusting it. Okay, I just don't. So, but thank you for sending it. I applaud your efforts, beloved. Now, what I want to do is hold on, let's go back to that really quick. Let me let y'all listen to that for a few more seconds while I gather up my other receipt. Hold on, here we go.
You don't have to pay me. I help people.
and there's no reason for anything to be deleted. I mean, no one even was in contact with his phone until it was moved from the boat to the truck. And none of us have access to Nolan's password to get on his phone and delete anything. Absolutely not. And we have no reason to delete anything. I mean, there's nothing to hide here. I mean, we have had no reason to delete anything, and we never did.
All right, so I have something I want to make sure that we're clear about, because you had mentioned earlier that you saw Nolan cradling Katie.
Right.
Her name is Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
I just want you to explain, what does that mean? Some people in their mind, they may think he's cradling like a baby.
Yeah.
Like what is that scenario look like?
He was. I mean, Nolan was off. The last time I saw him, like I said, I was off the bow of the boat, and like I said earlier, if you had jumped off the bow of the boat, you were probably about chest or neck deep in water. So Nolan wasn't like carrying her out the water. She's sitting in the water, and Nolan's arms are under the water, and he's carrying her from under the water, but her head's still out of the water. Nolan's head's still out of the water, and I was looking at both of them. So.
Oh, so he's kind of like holding her.
Right.
Kind of like,
in the water, though.
Like we grown, right?
Yeah,
There's two people in the water. They feeling each other.
Right.
Like meaning feeling they like each other.
Right.
And
that was obvious.
he's a little more close to her, and they're kind of having a moment.
Correct.
Not saying and not insinuating that it's sexual, but
no, of course not.
They're together. They like each other. You looking at him, you like, bro, you crazy, because you know that he like her and he's hanging out with her.
Yeah, right, okay. Exactly.
That makes sense. And when was the last time that you saw Nolan? And then when was the last time that someone reported to you that Nolan was seen? Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You saw him at a certain point, but then someone else saw him a lot later when you guys were gone.
Right. Okay. So the last time I personally laid eyes on Nolan was at like 3:00, and he was, front of the boat with the girl, and that's the last time I saw him. But there were, I've talked to somebody personally that saw Nolan at 6:00, and
he said someone told him they saw Nolan at 6:00, and he saw Nolan at 3:00. Okay, when did he talk to this person who said they saw him at 6:00? I want to know, and who is this person? But also pay attention to the fact that he says he last saw Nolan at 3:00, and then he says that was in front of the boat. Now, didn't he say also that they were screaming for Nolan to get on the boat, telling him to get on the effing boat? He's walking through the water with the girl. He's got her up to her neck in water or whatever. But didn't he say that they're yelling for him to get on the boat because they're leaving? But I thought they left at 4:30. Okay, please make it all make sense. The lies continue.
Someone, we weren't even the last people to see Nolan. Once we left, there were still dozens on dozens of boats around us. And I mean, clearly we were not the last people to see Nolan.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Nolan was on the boat with you when you left that island. And let me tell you all something. Now it's all adding up and making sense. Because if Nolan was on the boat with them when they left the island, that would explain that why no one on the island saw anything happen to Nolan. Why no one on the island reported seeing a drowning or anything of the sort. Why people who supposedly spent the night on the island, they said that someone camped out overnight. Why those people claimed that they never saw Nolan. This is all making sense. Okay. And he's getting caught up in all his lies and BS.
So Warren, I'm going to ask you some very pointed questions. I mean, just straight out.
Okay.
I didn't come down here to, do anything other but to get the truth,
right,
and for you to have a voice in this.
Right.
And the first thing I want to ask you is, did you kill Nolan?
Of course not.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
Of course not. And absolutely not.
They say that you guys deleted stuff out of his phone. Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone?
No. Of course not.
The mom act like, or at least she portrayed on television.
Hold on. I'm going to go back in a second. Now, I just got rid of a troll by the name of Harold. Harold seems to think, him and another troll that were in here, what they're trying to basically say is, Harold said that Nolan's looking down on us, saying that's why I hung out with white people. Here's the thing. Nolan hung out with black people, okay, as well. He had a group of white friends and a group of black friends. I had the same when I was in high school. I had a group of white friends. I played volleyball for the high school. So the girls that played volleyball with me were all white. There was only 2 black people on the team, me and my best friend. Okay, so we hung out with them. Okay, my boyfriend in high school was on the football team. A lot of the teammates were white. We went to a predominantly white high school, just like Nolan. And so, therefore, we had a lot of white friends. Just because you have a lot of white friends doesn't make you a raccoon. It only makes you a raccoon if you're someone who acts like Officer Tatum here. Okay, yeah, that's when you're a raccoon. When you're acting like someone like Officer Tatum, you can have white friends and not be a whole raccoon. Please make it all make sense. But let's continue.
Television and the rumors are that you weren't really good friends with Nolan. Is that true or not?
Absolutely not. I hung out with Nolan probably like 3 days a week. I mean, seriously, at least. Some days my friends want to hang out every single day, and Nolan was always there. So,
and obviously people may see this and know the facts later,
right,
that you weren't able to go to the funeral or the memorial service.
Right.
Why didn't you go? What was that?
Well, I mean, with everything going on social media right now, with people saying the crazy things that they're saying, I would never want to take the attention off of Nolan and his family. They don't deserve that. And, you know, for own personal reasons, I mean, I've gotten thousands of death threats. My family's got thousands of death threats. And, you know, for my own safety, I'm not going to put my own health and safety at risk.
So someone was going to kill him at the funeral? Is that what he's trying to tell us? Someone was going to do harm to him at a whole funeral? That's how it's all going to go down? He was going to be at risk of his safety at a funeral. Okay, yeah. Please make that make sense. He didn't go to the funeral because he already knew what he'd done and he knew he wouldn't be welcome, in my opinion. But let's let him cook.
You know, it breaks my heart that I can't go, and it hurt me more than anything because obviously I want to say my last goodbyes to one of my best friends, but I mean, if I'm getting thousands of death threats with people saying they're going to kill me.
Him sitting there inflating, saying that thousands of death threats, that further proves he's lying, okay? That further proves he's lying because thousands, he's really over-exaggerating just to make the situation seem more grim than it actually even is, okay? Inger Norman says, I would love to think that Officer Race Bomb Police is a plant on their side to get them to trust him and they tell the truth. Ha! I wish that were the case too, beloved, but sadly, it is absolutely not. Sadly, it is absolutely not, because if you know Officer Tatum's history, okay, he would never side with black people against white people. That's what he wouldn't do. His wife is white and he thinks he's white and he wishes that he was. That's why he hates his black skin. Okay, but thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. I mean, we can always have wishful thinking, but yeah, he's not that type of person. He's just a low down, dirty raccoon digging through the trash.
And do crazy things to my family and I couldn't bring myself to go because, you know, I got to put my own safety first. And even if that means, you know, missing my friend's funeral, I mean, it's horrible. And I wish I could have been there, but you know, that's what's been going on, you know?
And, you know, you guys, I think this is the first time that you've publicly gave a statement about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And obviously you're doing it with me. We're going to put it out there for the world. Why did you choose to do it now? And why did you choose to not speak to anybody but me?
Right. Okay. Well,
because you're a raccoon.
Officer Tatum.
I'll answer that because you're a raccoon who's going to help him paint his narrative. And what you're not going to do is admit that anything that they did was even wrong or ever in the least bit suspicious. Okay? And then you'll help them, you know, paint their narrative because you're a tap dancing Negro and that's what you're paid to do. Okay? Period. I said what I said. Now, let's continue. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
I've been watching you for a good while now, and you know, I think you're a great guy. You've kind of ever since things got really hot, you've kind of been on my friends and I's side. And I really like that about you. I mean, I thought you were very confident and well-spoken, and I really enjoyed that. And all my friends and I watch you.
Yeah, I'm sure you all do because y'all love raccoons because raccoons work for your benefit, not your detriment. Second of all, they watch him, okay, and he wants to talk, and they watch him because they're MAGA, just like him. But also, more importantly, they likely reached out to him because he's Black. But he wants us to think that this has nothing to do with race. But he just asked Warren what race was Javon. He just asked him if Javon was white. So why do you care what race he was? That's for number one. But then the only reason Warren is sitting down with him is because he's Black, because he wants it to look like a Black person is even defending them, like a Black person is helping them to get to the truth or tell their side of the truth. Okay, that's all that is. And like I told you all from day one with Tatum, but let's continue.
We all think you're great. We love your faith with the Lord. You know, we try to be closer and closer with the Lord every day. And so did Nolan, you know, and, you know, that we just really liked the way you spoke about us and how you took our side, not based off someone's agenda and, you know, based off of race. Cause I mean, that's a horrible thing, you know?
Was this about race? Did this have anything to do with race as far as from your perspective?
Absolutely not. I mean, Nolan's been a great friend of mine since 8th grade. Nolan isn't my only friend of color. And, you know, I have plenty of friends through high school and friends I have now, not just Nolan, who are Black, Mexican. You know, I've never looked at that, and none of my friends ever have. Like, and if you do, you know, that's disgusting, you know?
And if you had a chance to, you know, tell the world that have painted this picture of you and your friends as being potential murderers of Nolan, white supremacists, racists, what would you want the world to know if you can summarize to them in a very short paragraph or a few sentences?
Yeah.
What would you want to say to them if you had the opportunity?
I would want to say to them that my family and I are praying for y'all. You know, I can never bring myself to tell somebody that I'm going to kill them, and that
you didn't have to tell him you were going to kill him to do it. And I'm not saying you did, but I sure think you did.
I'm going to, you know, I've received, and my family's received, absolutely horrible threats about this. And, you know, I want people to know that our faith with the Lord is stronger and means more to us than anything. And we all trust in the Lord, and for the Lord to reveal the truth. And I know that's what will happen because I have faith and my family has faith. But I want people to know that I'm praying for them. And
you need to be praying for yourself, son, because you're held bound as far as I'm concerned, okay? You're held bound. When you get old and gray, he's going to be laying up there on his bed trying to confess his sins, hoping that it'll get him a ticket to heaven, just like they always do, okay? Just like they always do. Please pay attention. But for now, it's all lies and BS, in my opinion.
If they want to speak hate and speak, you know, these horrible things, and
why is it hate? Because people are accusing you and because people think that you did something nefarious. That's not hate. That's their opinions.
I mean, you're obviously not in the right state of mind, and you need to work on yourself. It's a horrible thing, and, you know, but race was never a thing between Nolan and I and my friends. I mean, I have friends in my friend group that are Mexican and, you know, mixed, Black. I mean, that's never mattered. And I think it's just absolutely disgusting that people try to make this narrative out of something that it's absolutely not, first off, and out of something that they have zero facts about. Jack,
sit down somewhere. Okay, let's get rid of him for now. I may go back to the rest because there's like 10 more minutes left of it. But I just wanted you all to basically hear how he lied and said, in my opinion, he's lying at least, how he sat there and said that Tashima came and kicked in the door. So she came and strong-armed you all for that phone. She came in there with a whole posse, okay, and strong-armed you all for Nolan's phone, and y'all didn't call the police. Okay, y'all didn't call the police and then y'all just handed her the phone and that was the end of it. Yeah, that sounds like a whole load of BS, but hold on. For the people that want to sit here and think that Nolan, the trolls that is, that want to think that Nolan is a raccoon, and let me just tell you all something, people. At the end of the day, these racist MAGA minions, they want us to feel like Nolan was a raccoon, so we won't stand up for him, so we won't keep applying the pressure, so we won't keep searching for the truth and demanding justice and accountability. Okay? But guess what? Here's what I have to say to the minions. If he was, even if he had been, because he wasn't, but even if he had been a raccoon, guess what? He was our raccoon. Okay, so sit down somewhere. Just like Officer Tatum raced Tatum as y'all's raccoon. Y'all can have it. But let me just show you all this. This is a picture of some of Nolan's real friends. Okay, not fake ones. And they were allowed to come to the funeral, unlike Warren. Another Queen Amadaya production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Popping pin swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth.
Okay, those are his friends. And someone in the chat asked the question, some silly troll asked, why aren't any of his black friends being questioned? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because none of his black friends have been accused of having been witnessed scrubbing a darn boat at 3 a.m. in the morning. None of his black friends were on a call where we heard people in the background saying, wake the F up. Check his chest. None of his black friends are the ones who held his phone and keys and then lied when the parents came to retrieve it. That's why, in case you missed it. Okay? That's why. Now, let's go to this clip from former judge and attorney, now attorney Carlos Moore. Because he said he'd be signing a warrant for murder at this point.
To tell you that I would, at this point, sign an arrest warrant for one or more persons for the crime of murder. I do believe circumstantial evidence leads me to believe that it is more likely than not that Nolan Wells was murdered rather than he just accidentally drowned. And I have come to this conclusion, and if it was properly documented and sent to me, if I had still been on the bench, I would sign an arrest warrant for one or more persons.
All right, he said he would sign an arrest warrant for one or more persons. And I believe one of those persons would absolutely have been Warren. Okay, now Mrs. Pucci says he said that Nolan was in contact with his phone until it was moved from the boat to the truck. Did he say that, beloved? I missed that. Did the rest of you all hear that? Because I missed it. I'm multitasking. Keep in mind, I'm multitasking, beloved. Okay, so thank you for that. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so listen. Y'all heard it. It is what it is. These people are clearly lying and painting narratives. Okay, nothing's going to change my mind. All right, nothing at this point is going to change my mind. Period. There's too many suspicious things going on at the end of the day. And then the fact that the dude from Cajun Navy was sitting there lying on Ben Crump yesterday. Okay, sitting there lying, saying that Ben Crump misrepresented their words, talking about Nolan was found fully clothed. That's what one of them said on Nancy Grace. Okay? I played you all the audio yesterday. If you missed that video, go back and watch. Then they lied and said that Ben Crump, when they spoke to the family and Ben Crump turned down their offer to release the cadaver dogs onto the boat. Now, let me just tell you all something I thought about yesterday when I was thinking about that, right? I remembered that I reported to you all last week, about a week ago, if I'm not mistaken, that they did say something about the cadaver dogs being put on the boat, but I could have sworn that the report was that they offered the police to have their cadaver dogs come on there. Isn't that what they initially said? I want y'all to pay attention to how stories are changing around here. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention to how stories are changing around here, because see, it would make sense if they offered their services to the police for free because they're a nonprofit organization. Okay, but why the hell would they offer that to Ben Crump? He doesn't own a darn boat that Nolan was on. And so how do they think that Ben Crump could ever give the okay, the go ahead for anyone to search someone else's darn boat? And then when it came out yesterday, who did it say gave permission? Okay, it said the owner of the boat gave the police permission to search the boat. Now, also, and the same point, or in that, with that same point being made, let me just say this: that further shows the white privilege. Because why did the police need to get their permission? When the police think there's some probable cause to suspect foul play, or they want evidence of something, they usually just go and get a warrant and get a judge to sign it. And I'm sure they have enough probable cause to have done that. So why would they need to get permission? Okay. So that means they let these people decide. They let them pick and choose whether or not they were going to comply with their demands. Okay. With their request. Please pay attention. Yeah, that's absolutely privilege. That's absolutely privilege. Now I'm going to go back to this clip. Like stuff, everyone please like and share. It's about 10 more minutes left. I like that one better.
Jackson County hasn't released any facts. There haven't been any facts about this case other than that, you know, just timelines and, you know, stuff like that. But it's horrible that people have made this out to be something that it's absolutely not. And it's disgusting in my opinion.
Was Nolan the only black person on that island?
Absolutely not. I saw.
So, this is a Wegovy pill. And it's the first ever GLP-1 weight loss medication available in a pill. In fact, you can lose up to 20% of your body weight. Unlike other plans, hers offers access to unlimited support. So you don't just get medication. You get a personalized plan.
Sorry, beloveds, I'm multitasking. I was looking for something.
A lot of black people. And like I said, I mean, you know, it's not pointed out or anything. I mean, I wasn't looking at that, but my buddy Trayson was out there and, you know, he's mixed. Javon was out there. He's came out. He's mixed. I know a bunch of my friends that are black that were out there that day that I haven't even mentioned. I mean, Nolan was not the only black person out there by no means. I mean, like there was thousands of people out there. Why?
Here's the thing. No one suggested that Nolan was the only black person out there. And we clearly know that he wasn't the only black person out there because Javon, who is also black, was out there. But what we said is that he was the only black person on that boat with you all. That's what we said. You see how they keep trying to change the narrative? You see how they keep trying to add in little tidbits that don't even make a bit of sense to a fool? Okay, CR 4530 says the 911 audio is clear murder. It happened on the boat and they hit the body. Your video is the truth. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you for your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, we're going to get to the truth. We certainly are. They can try to hide it all they want, but the truth's going to come out.
Mexican, black, everyone,
And in the friend group, is Nolan the only black person in the friend group?
Absolutely not. My buddy Trayson's black. I have other friends of color. I mean, our friend group's very tight, and we have a.
How many times is he going to say this? And for someone who doesn't want things to be made about race, Officer Tatum sure is asking him a whole lot about race. Now, he already told us this in the first 10 minutes, and here we are 10 more minutes later, and he's still talking about how many black friends, how many Mexican friends, how many different friends of different races that he has. Okay, dude, we're convinced. You have friends of different races. Okay, what's your point? Doesn't mean that you didn't do anything nefarious to Nolan.
Not a small group of guys, but we have 10 to 12 guys in my friend group, and we're all from Ocean Springs, and we grew up together. But Nolan is not the only black guy in my friend group by any means, and everybody knows that.
There's controversy around the CETO, right? You guys called it in.
Right.
they have that record of you guys, making that emergency call.
Right.
But then there's this, I guess, graphic of you guys traveling at a slow speed. Then all of a sudden you accelerate.
Right.
People are saying that that's an indication of something afoot or foul play going on in that timeline. What do you have to say to the naysayers who are mentioning that something must have happened, that you guys were going slow, then you accelerated all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely not. We got towed probably a quarter mile. Like I said, my buddy Bart drove his boat up next to ours after he pulled us out away from the island. And then he towed us a little more while we were trying to get the motor figured out. I mean, the motor would trim down. So then eventually, and the motor wouldn't trim down. And so eventually we figured out if you held the manual trim on the motor will stay in the water even when you start to accelerate. Because when my buddy would put the boat in gear and forward, the motor would come right back up. So it trimmed down, but then it'd come right back up when you went to go put it in forward and drive off. So yeah, we stopped at one point. My buddy pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat, the captain of the boat, got in the water, pulled the plug out the boat, got back in the boat and hit it. And like I said earlier, we all transferred our weight to the front. So, because there was so much water in the back of the boat that when my buddy had it pinned out all the way, trying to go as fast as we can, and the boat was still sitting like this on the water. None of it wouldn't have been planed out. So we had to move all the way to the front of the boat. Everybody had to get on the bow, and eventually we planed. Everybody got sat back. And when you're on plane and you're going, water starts coming out the boat. Like that's the whole reason he pulled the plug. Because when you come out the water and you're on plane and the boat's level, water starts coming out the boat.
Why is Tatum sitting there asking this man about the boat and the water? Okay, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Now, Nexi Lex says Katie saw Nolan's friends telling him to get on the boat, and he stayed with her. So how would Katie be expecting him to go back with his friends who already left on a sinking boat? We just cracked the case. Okay, because clearly what he said doesn't make any sense. And also, I want to point out that days ago when I played the audio, I told you all that it sounded like to me that he said the girl, when he was, and I felt like he was talking about Katie, when he said the girl witnessed it too. And then a couple of you all said that he said girls with an S, plural. But now in the video, the interview with Tatum, he clearly was talking about Katie. He said that Katie heard them telling Nolan to get on the boat. So with that all being said, if Katie heard them telling Nolan to get on the boat, which she did say herself that she thought he got on the boat with friends who were telling him to get on the boat. So he later says something, Warren does. He later says something about one of his friends text Katie. So they must have known Katie and Nolan had just met her, because how was your friend texting Katie? How'd they get her number? Okay, and the friend that had Katie's number, did that friend possibly like Katie, or were he and Katie just friends? And was the friend upset that Nolan and Katie were hooking up? I just have several questions, but this is all out of Warren's mouth. Okay, please pay attention.
So, I mean, that's why we came to a stop, so he could jump in the water, pull the plug, and then we hauled in. There was no stopping, because if you do stop, the water starts coming back in the boat because the plug's out.
So there's nothing nefarious there. It's just a formality of trying to unplug the boat and
Absolutely
get it,
not.
Get it docked properly.
Correct. I mean, we were just trying to, solve the boat's issues, because we wouldn't have ever gone anywhere if the boat wasn't figured out. So,
and Nolan being a really good friend of yours, really good friend of all of you guys, some of you guys have been accused of killing him. I mean, obviously he was somebody you knew, somebody you spent a lot of time with. With all that has gone on, if Nolan was here, what do you think he would say about all this?
I think Nolan has one of the most...
If Nolan was here, he would say thank you to my family and real friends and all the people around the world, specifically Black people and the good white folk who are helping to solve my case and who are fighting for me and want my family to get justice in my name. That's, okay, what he would be saying, Warren. Don't even try to lie and paint it any different. devil.
I mean, Nolan's one of the best men I've ever met. I mean, he has an amazing heart. And like I said in the beginning, I mean, Nolan is one of the nicest and sweetest people I've ever met. I mean, seriously, he had no hate in his heart whatsoever. I think if Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be sick to his stomach. I mean, Nolan hated all hate and arguing and drama. He didn't like any of that. So, I mean, I think if Nolan knew this was going on, he'd be very, very upset. I mean, it's horrible. If he knew his friends were getting these threats and, we were,
Hold on, let me address the Karen in the chat who calls herself Dr. Snowflake's Nightmare. Karen says, they're doing a TikTok at a funeral and you think that's respectful? Yes, I do, Karen. I do. And you know why? Because his mother said that they were going to have a celebration of his life, that they were going to have a party in his honor. You see, that's what we Black folk do. And of course, you, Karen, wouldn't know that because I'm sure no Black folk have ever invited you to a cookout, let alone their funeral. Okay, please pay attention. And with that being said, I'm going to kick you out and have the day that you and your nefarious ancestors deserve. On God.
Felt threatened for our lives. I mean, Nolan would be.
I'm lowering my ask to just $1 today.
If he was here, and if he knew that, I mean, he was a person of no violence, and he had a really good heart. He would hate it.
You think your friendship with Nolan inspired you to want to speak out?
Of course. I mean,
F out of here. Of course. I mean, shut the F up, okay? Your friendship was not with Nolan. And second of all, it didn't inspire you to do anything but get on here and try to cover your own ass, okay? By sitting here painting this narrative and telling all these darn lies. Okay, I'm calling him a liar flat out. Sue me. I'd love to take it to court so we can have discovery. Yeah, he's a liar, and he's been lying throughout these interview clips, period.
No, Nolan. And like I said, I've been really tight with Nolan since 8th grade. And he's a best friend of mine. He's like a brother. And Nolan's the type of guy to fight back for what's right and fight for the truth. And I know Nolan would tell me if he was here to fight back and make sure the truth is out and make sure your word is out, because that's what matters most.
So after all that's been said in this interview, do you have any theories about what could have possibly happened to Nolan?
He doesn't need a theory. He knows.
My buddies and I have talked about it. And like I said, I mean, I've been on the water my entire life. My friends have. It's not like we're unexperienced in this, but Nolan was my best friend, and he was my friend's best friends. And well, he was like a brother to me. And more than anything, and the thing that's most important is what happened to him. And I mean, I want to know just as much as anybody else. I mean,
let me tell you all something. What is really so annoying to me is the fact that he's sitting here lying, saying that Nolan was like a brother to him, but he didn't even get on his social media even after he reactivated it. If he has not posted not one time anything positive about Nolan or how good a friend he was. Second of all, as he's sitting here lying and pretending that he cared so much about Nolan, even considering him a brother, he has not one shed of remorse for his death, even if he didn't do it. He has not one ounce of empathy nor sympathy for Miss Christine or her husband. He has not given condolences. See, here's the thing. Here's how you know where his loyalties lie. If he's doing this interview with Officer Tatum, the first thing he should have said or could have said, and even if it wasn't the first thing, at any point in this, he could have simply said, specifically in the first part would have been better, but at the least he could have said, listen, Nolan was my friend, and I just want to offer my condolences and deepest sympathy to his parents and family. He could have said that, but he didn't offer any of it. And he's sitting here talking so cold and callous, like a whole serial killer, in my opinion. He's akin to Ted Bundy, as far as I'm concerned, as it pertains to his ability to sit here and show no empathy nor sympathy for someone that he claims to have cared about and loved so much like a brother. Okay? Pay attention to that, because at the end of the day, you can tell what kind of person he is and how he really felt about Nolan from listening to him speak. Okay? Yes, he sounds fake, brown eyes. I had a friend that passed away 6 or 7 months ago, and I still get choked up when I even think about them, let alone talk about them. Your friend's been dead for not even a month, and you're sitting here having a casual conversation, doing this interview, talking about him and talking about what happened on the day he died, but you're blaming everything on him. Oh, he was drunk. We were all drinking. I don't believe it. Okay, if he had a drink or two, I'm sure he wasn't drunk. He had training that Monday. I think they were all jealous and just a bunch of haters. And I think the main hater and the main one that was so envious is him because he looks like Curious George when he takes off that hat and you see those huge ears like Dumbo that he's working with. Sorry, but your money couldn't fix that. Let's continue.
That's all. Like my friends.
Oh, I'm sorry. And let me just say, Mr. Elevation says, Queen, if the phone was put in Wyatt's truck and you could not contact Nolan, why wouldn't you contact your best friend's mom to let her know? Exactly. Exactly. Why didn't he do that? That's a very good point, beloved, and thank you for that and for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Yes, he absolutely could have done it and then tried to act like he was so concerned and reached out to Miss Christine. But at the end of the day, honey, you say you left the island at 4:30, right? You didn't get in touch with Miss Christine till after 11 o'clock p.m. Okay? So miss us with it. Concerned, and then still went to bed and got a good night's rest. I can honestly say to you all, I haven't slept really good for the past few days. Okay, because of all this stuff going on with Nolan, feeling all of the empathy and sympathy for his parents, specifically his mother. That woman looks heartbroken. Reminds me of the whole Emmett Till story. Okay, at the end of the day, I haven't even been able to sleep, and many of you probably haven't been either. So how can he sit up there and tell us that he woke up the next morning? Okay, from a good sleep, mind you. Okay, it didn't bother him at all that his friend was missing and likely dead. Quite frankly, I think he knew his friend was dead, and that's why he went to sleep. One thing about the police, let me tell you all something. The police have a little trick they do. When the police accuse someone of a crime, and if they don't know for a fact that the person did it, but they suspect that they did and there's probable cause, and they have that person arrested and put in jail, you know what the police do? They wait. And then they go back hours later and check on that person. And here's what they say. They say that if the person is asleep, they're guilty because an innocent person would be up pacing the floor trying to figure out why the hell they're in jail. How did I get here? I didn't even do anything. But the guilty person just knows they're caught. And so they just go to sleep. And I believe that's what Warren did. I believe he slept like a baby that night because he knew what he had done. So he didn't have to worry about where Nolan was, if he was going to be found dead or alive, because he already knew, in my opinion. But let's continue.
Haven't stopped talking about that. Like what happened, and like just trying to figure it out. But I would never want to put it on somebody else because of the hate that I've received for just being out there around them and my name getting brought up because I called the Coast Guard. I was the first one to call the Coast Guard. I mean, I don't know. And I want to know more than anybody. I mean, my friends and I are have been wondering this for a while. And, we just want to know as much as anybody else what happened to him. But I would never want to sit here and blame anybody else and put this on anybody else because of the hate and death threats that my family and my friends have received. It's horrible. And I would never want someone else to experience that,
Yeah, especially if
Now, I want you all to pay attention. It's about to close out. They only have like a couple of more, maybe 3 more minutes. But listen, I want you all to pay attention to how everything is about him. Everything is focused on him. Okay? He said that I would never want this to happen to anyone because of all the hate and all the threats. Not one time did he say that I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Because I would never want a parent to have to lose their child and not know exactly what happened to them. And all of this drama has surrounded the case. He didn't say that. Okay, he didn't say that. No empathy for what Nolan's parents are dealing with, but that was his brother. Let him tell it. Okay, only concerned about himself. Only about himself, devil.
If there's no evidence to it.
Exactly.
So I got 2 more things I want to address directly. Mm-hmm. It's been said out there that you guys immediately delete your social media, lower it up, as if you were in some type of fear that you would be implicated in this. What do you say to that?
I mean, of course we lured up, and of course, I deleted my social media. I was getting death threats before anything ever came out because I was the one that called the Coast Guard. I mean, people put this all on me because I was the one that called. I was the one that was, worried. My friends were just as well. I mean,
now he wants to try to make it look like and paint the narrative that people started accusing him because he's the one that made the call. Yeah, that was hella suspicious. That was hella suspicious. The fact that you called the Coast Guard and the Cajun Navy and then then later you act as though Tashima and the crew that allegedly arrived with her to pick up the phone acted as though they were overreacting. Acted as though, oh, it's no big deal. Nolan's probably asleep on someone's couch. If you thought that he was asleep on someone's couch, why in the hell did you call the Coast Guard and the Cajun Navy? Like, sit down somewhere. He called the Coast Guard and the Cajun Navy to clear himself, when Nolan's body turned up dead, because he knows exactly what happened to Nolan. Now, mind you, that's my opinion. That's my opinion, not to be misconstrued with the facts, but that's just what I believe.
of course I deleted all my social media. I was getting insane death threats, like stuff I couldn't even believe 2 days after. And, we went straight to the police. I wanted the police to come and ask questions. I wanted them to know and have all of my information.
Sure, you did.
I mean, people were accusing me of murdering my best friend. It's sick. I mean, like, just because of race. I mean,
just because of race. I mean, listen to this fool. I want you all to pay attention because here's what he's doing. It's very clever, or so he thinks. The bottom line is he's acting like we're just putting a finger at him because of race, because Nolan was black and they're white. That's not the only reason. Now, that's the reason we got suspicious in the first place. But the reason we're still on your ass is because of you all supposedly cleaning that boat at 3 a.m. in the morning. You all keeping his phone and his keys and lying about it. You all lawyering up immediately, closing out your social media. That's why. Okay, but let me just tell you all what he's doing here. And I just keep reiterating this to you all because this is what they keep doing. This is DARVO, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. This is exactly what he's doing. This is what they all have been doing. I want you to pay attention. Judge Ashley Cole, his stepmom, she did the same thing. This is what they are doing. They deny. Act like they didn't do anything. Nothing to see here, folks. We don't know what happened to Nolan. We want to know just as well as anybody. Then they attack. They start saying that, oh, people are making this about race. And then they try to blame it on Ben Crumpenhour Sharpton like he's previously done, or as Tatum, shall I say, has previously done, and he agreed. And then they reverse the victim and the offender. So now Nolan isn't the victim because Nolan was the one drinking all day. Nolan was the one stuttering and moving slow. Nolan brought this on himself. He's the one that told us to leave him on the island. We told him to get the F on the boat, but he refused. And now people are threatening my family, crazy threats, death threats, talking about killing us, thousands and thousands of threats. Now he's the victim. Now he's the victim. Pay attention.
It's disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, I got off of social media because there were people saying insane things to me and my family, and I just couldn't sit there and look at it. I mean, that's it.
And Warren, thank you so much, man, for being bold and courageous, for telling your story. The purpose of me doing this and flying down here is because I wanted to know for myself. I always felt that the narrative that was out there wasn't quite complete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course you did, because you're a whole raccoon. And anytime a black person comes up dead and it's even suspected that a white person did it, that's what you're going to always do. Doubt it, Tatum. Okay? Because you don't like black people. You don't even like yourself.
It seems like there was a rush to judgment. And I know that you could have taken the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm afraid for my life. And I'm just not going to put my neck out there. But I applaud you and appreciate you for stepping up, for doing what Nolan would be proud of you doing. And that is putting your word out there and not letting the naysayers run with the narrative.
Of course.
And you being a young guy, I'm much older than you. Mm-hmm. I could take the punches.
Right.
You know, I love dishing it out. Mm-hmm. But for you as a young man to really put your neck out there to stand up for your friends and stand up for Nolan is very honorable. And I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Well, I appreciate you. I mean, you being here and flying down has meant a lot. And I mean, I just wanted to get my story out there because I know that's what Nolan would want me to do. And I want the truth to come out. And I pray that the good Lord reveals the truth to everybody. So thank you, Brandon.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
The good Lord's revealing the truth right now through you. You're sitting up here telling on yourself and don't even realize it. Won't he do it? Okay, won't he do it, y'all? Please pay attention. Let's go to this next clip. We're almost out of here because I'm going to have to come back later. That's why I came on so early. Okay, I have to get some rest in between.
Crump, followed by Nolan Wells' mother speaking, "Dear Lord in heaven, what is wrong with people? If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened? He goes out with friends. They all come back. He's dead." I don't understand the hate directed toward Nolan's family and to everyone looking for answers. At this hour, I don't think anyone is guilty, but I do know that there is a conflict in the stories, and we are not stopping until we know what happened to Nolan Wells. So you can send all the hate and vitriol you want. Have at it. That from our friends over at NAACP. Straight out to Joseph Scott Morgan. We got an all-star panel lined up to analyze what's happening at this hour. As we are learning, the FBI has swooped into this investigation. And that is not disparaging local law enforcement, although they did apparently jump the gun at the get-go and say no foul play suspected. Well, I suspect foul play because I don't know any differently. Maybe it will turn out to all be an accident. But as of right now, we need a full-on investigation. Joe Scott Morgan, before I give you a very, very long intro bio, where's the throat? I know we have deep red markings on the occipital bone that's in the back of the thank you. This is directly from the autopsy. We want you to see what the family has seen. Don't you think, Joe Scott Morgan, seeing family attorney Ben Crump, followed by Nolan Wells' mother speaking, "Dear Lord in heaven, what is wrong with people? If this were your child, wouldn't you want to know what happened? He goes out with friends."
Sorry, you all. I was trying to pull up another clip. Okay, so now let's get into this last clip, and then we're going to be out of here. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds.
Is cradling a girl in his arms, Katie. Katie. And Katie, Nolan was sitting there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing, and I was like, "Dude, you crazy?" I was like just joking with him. And but anyway. Nolan, that was the last time I laid eyes on him. Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and my buddy yelled for Nolan. "Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving. The boat's having issues." And like, no, he didn't say that, but he was panicking. "Nolan, get the F on the boat. Get on the boat." And Nolan said, "No, I'm staying out here. I'm going to ride in with somebody else." And it's not uncommon to hear, but it's not like my buddy asked him one time. My buddy asked Nolan multiple times to get on the boat. "Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. We're leaving. If you're coming, you got to come now." And Nolan made a decision to stay out on the island. Nolan wasn't the only person to ride out there with us and in with somebody else. The next day, everybody was panicking and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, "This is the last time I saw him. He's really sweet." But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to. Nolan was.
He just lied on Katie. Now, Katie did say that they were calling him to get on the boat. And he said that she was right there to see that he did not. Katie didn't say that. Okay? Katie did not say that. She thought that he got on the boat because she heard them calling him, telling him to get on the boat. And guess what? He did get on that damn boat because we just heard the audio. And let's listen to it again before I conclude this broadcast.
Of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello? All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello? All right, of course. Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
All right. Well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir.
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have the tag
Unless
on
you
here.
have a
It got ripped
membership
off.
number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How
on
many?
board.
All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
If not, I can send you a text message.
All right, are you ready?
All right. And so with that all being said, I think we get the gist of it. And you know, someone said that picture that Ben Crump posted was fake. Well, guess what? I don't know if it's fake or not, but even if it is, that audio damn sure isn't fake. Okay, that audio is not fake. So how are they going to explain that? Okay, please make it all make sense. Now, Tact 1 says this nasty easily is going to get sued so hard. Defamation, slander, or just to name a few. Racism 100%. Hate crimes, yes, all by this nasty black racist CUNT. Are you talking about me, beloved? Are you talking about me? I find that all interesting. And you know why I find it interesting? Because you're calling me racist, but you just called me a nasty black racist CUNT. Well, good luck with me getting sued, okay? I said what the F I said. Now have the day you and your ancestors clearly deserve, okay? Clearly deserve. And here's the thing. Nobody can sue me for a damn thing because everything that I stated, I specifically said is my opinion. This is speculation. Now, the things that are the facts, okay? But my opinion is absolutely my opinion. And we don't get sued for opinions, honey. Please pay attention. So miss me with it. Okay, miss me with it. And he did sound drunk. He did sound drunk, but he also sounded annoyed as well. Okay? Ooh, the trolls are so mad. The trolls are so mad, honey, and I love it. I'm so glad they're ticked off, okay? Anyway, with that all been said, listen, beloveds, I'm going to conclude the broadcast. My work here is done for right now, okay? But, yeah, I will be back. Leon called him a low-down, dirty, nasty dog, okay? Andrea said, no, Queen, they're clan ancestors. Exactly. All right. Venus said, Queen is touching those racist nerves. You already know. Okay, they can be mad all they want, but don't blame me. At the end of the day, the truth is the truth. And it's all coming to light. Okay? It's all coming to light. And here's the thing. Black people can't be racist because I don't have any way to oppress anyone. Okay? Byron says they just resort to calling us stupid and being racist when they have nothing real to say. Exactly. This is exactly what they do. Okay. I don't care what they say because at the end of the day, they're completely irrelevant. The day that I start giving a care about what racist MAGA minions think about black folk, please just put me out of my misery. It's all I'm saying. Okay. So with that all being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Okay, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. I will be back later on, so make sure you set your notifications, turn your notifications on. Okay, like, share, subscribe, and all of that. And I appreciate you all, beloveds. And until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace. And this song is for the racist. Okay? There you go.
4th of July. Fireworks in the sky. But the truth's still buried underground. Royal Low. Yeah. They told me, wave the flag while the chains still clank. Told me, praise the names on the blood-soaked banks. Told me, freedom was born in the room full of men who wrote liberty down while they own human skins. So fuck your founding fathers and the myths they made. I don't pledge to the lie, I don't kneel to the page. You can light up the sky, I remember the smoke from the fields, from the ships, from the necks in the rope. You call it independence, I call it selective. You call it patriotic, I call it protective. Other stories so fragile it cracks when questioned. Truth knocks once and they call it aggression. Yeah. Red for the blood they spill, white for the lies they told, blue for the bruises left on the bodies they sold. Don't ask me to celebrate what never included mine. I came with the receipts, I came to redraw the line. Fuck your founding fathers, I don't owe them praise. They built a nation on our backs, then told us smile through the pain. Fuck your founding fathers, let the fireworks cry. This ain't freedom for the people. If the truth still gotta hide, yeah, no justice, no peace, no lie gets crowned. We don't worship old ghosts when the roots scream loud. Fuck your founding fathers. On the 4th of July, I'm lighting up the truth while they light up the sky. They say, look how far we came. I say, look what it cost. Every courthouse got a shadow, every victory got lost. They gave statues to the takers, made heroes out of thieves. Put their faces on the money while the hungry couldn't breathe. Don't lecture me on freedom from a stolen land stage. Don't quote old documents with blood on the page. Don't tell me be grateful for a seat at the table when my people built the room and got treated unstable. You can't buy me through the truth, you can dress it in stars, but the anthem still echoes like chains behind bars. I don't hate the people, I hate the disguise. I hate when the guilty get praised as the wise. Red for the blood they spill, white for the lies they told, blue for the bruises left on the bodies they sold. Don't ask me to celebrate what never included mine. I came with the receipts, I came to redraw the line. Fuck your founding fathers, I don't owe them praise. They built a nation on our backs, then told us smile through the pain. Fuck your founding fathers, let the fireworks cry. This ain't freedom for the people. If the truth still gotta hide, no justice, no peace, no lie gets crowned. We don't worship old ghosts when the roots scream loud. Fuck your founding fathers. On the 4th of July, I'm lighting up the truth while they light up the sky. Don't call it hate when the wound speaks back. Don't call it division when our name was fact. Don't call it progress while the system still bites. Don't call it freedom if we still gotta fight. I'm not here for comfort, I'm not here to pretend. I'm here for the children who deserve better than this. Better than myths, better than chains, better than flags used to cover up pain. So this one's for the ancestors who never got rest, for the names never written but who gave us their best, for the mothers who prayed, for the fathers who ran, for the babies born fighting in the stolen man's plan. This is not disrespect, this is correction. This is not rebellion, this is resurrection. You can keep your parade, I keep speaking the truth. I don't need permission to remember my roots. Royal oak in the soil, truth in the flame. If the crown came with silence, then I don't want the name. But if the crown means standing when the whole world falls, then I'm 10 toes down till the real story's told. Fuck your founding fathers, I don't owe them praise. Fireworks fade, but the truth don't die. Royal low, 4th of July. Not your myth, not your lie, not your version of my